In Enoch's day, the Lord called his people Zion, because they were of one heart and one mind, and dwelt in righteousness, and there was no poor among them. Attaining such a level of righteousness is a gradual process. We must learn individually to live the principles of the gospel. As Latter-day Saints, we have welfare responsibilities to ourselves, our families, and to our brothers and sisters in and out of the church. These responsibilities apply no matter where we live in all the world. They include work, self-reliance and provident living, and giving of ourselves and our means in caring for the poor. These principles do not change. They represent the Lord's welfare plan for his children and have applied in every dispensation. Let us consider these principles as they apply to Latter-day Saints throughout the world.
I'm glad to be able to go to work every day. It makes me feel proud when I am able to give my family the things they need. Even though the work is sometimes hard, and I go home really tired, I feel good inside, like I'm doing what the Lord wants me to do. My job may not seem very important, but it's something I can do well. I like that. I think it's important that children learn to work so they can take care of themselves. My wife and I try to teach our children to work by giving them jobs to do. We work with them too. This brings our family close together and gives a feeling of love. I want my children to get a good education so they can have good jobs when they are older. I think this is important for both the boys and the girls. I have a favorite scripture that I think of when I feel discouraged. Be strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded.
Self-reliance and provident living are the result of work and are basic to all other welfare practices. Self-reliance means providing for our own needs. No true Latter-day Saint will ever willingly shift the responsibility of caring for himself or his family to someone else. Church members must also learn to live providently. This means developing proper attitudes, a willingness to forego luxuries, to avoid excess, and fully use what we have, learning to live within our means and provide for the future.
We have lived in this town all our lives. I am the only member of my family to join the church. I want to be able to take care of my family now and in the future too. That's why I study. Soon I will have my degree, then I will be able to earn a better living. I want us to be self-reliant like the church teaches. It is hard to work and go to school at the same time, but I know it will be worth it.
We have to budget our money. Sometimes we can't afford to do the things we'd like, but it's good to know that we can live on what we have. We have a small garden behind the house. It's fun to work together, and we're learning to store some food, as the prophet has told us. When our children are older, I will tell them to do the same things we are doing. I know that life will be better if they do.
We want our children to be able to serve missions, and that will take a lot of money. As soon as I can finish school, we're going to start saving for that. I am thankful for the gospel because it helps us prepare for the future, and it also helps us to live better now.
As church members become self-reliant and learn to live providently, they are more able to give of themselves and their means in caring for the poor. Unless we live these principles, we will not be able to help others. How can we give if there is no surplus? Food for the hungry cannot come from empty shelves. Money to assist the needy cannot come from an empty purse. Support and understanding cannot come from the emotionally starved. By practicing self-reliance and provident living, we not only meet our own needs, but have the means to help others as well. There is an interdependence between those who have and those who have not. The process of giving exalts the poor and humbles the rich. In the process, both are sanctified.
When I first met Linda, she wasn't very friendly. She and her husband were members of the church, but not active. She had recently had surgery, and I asked if there was anything I could do to help. But she refused, said her husband could handle things. He was out of work and was home a lot. Well, I thought, at least I offered to help. But the Spirit whispered there was more that I could do. She seemed so defeated. I finally convinced Linda to let me wash just a few loads of laundry in exchange for something she could do for me. Then I brought back the clean clothes for her to sort and fold, and she seemed grateful to have something to do. And I kept my promise to let her help me, and brought in some of my mending. Together we mended and sewed on buttons and talked about her husband's discouragement because he was out of work, the car that wouldn't run, and all the medical bills. And as we talked, I realized there must be more I could do. So I talked it over with my husband that evening.
Well, until Ruth told me about her visit, I hadn't realized there was anything wrong. I felt a little guilty because I really hadn't paid much attention to them. They were just renting after all. I knew I had to get involved. The husband, Mike, was really down. He'd been looking for work, but without a car, it's hard to get to interviews. Our son Steve was pretty good at auto repairs, so we spent all day one Saturday working on that old clunker. Mike really opened up as we worked. I decided I'd talk to the Elders Quorum president about his job problem.
Jerry's call was the first I knew the family lived in the ward. We visited him as a presidency and together developed a plan of action. One of my counselors had a custodial service, and he was able to use Mike part-time until he found something else. It didn't pay a lot, but it helped. I asked the other members of the quorum if they could watch out for openings where they worked. Within a few weeks, Mike had a new job.
Marvelous things can happen when we extend ourselves in compassionate service to those in need. As we apply these welfare principles, we will be able to help others enjoy the blessings of the gospel.
Because I have been given much, I too must give. Because of thy great bounty, Lord, each day I live. I shall divide my gifts from thee with every brother that I see who has the need of help from me.
Because I have been sheltered, fed by thy good care, I cannot see another's lack and I not share. My glowing fire, my loaf of bread, my roof safe shelter overhead, that he too may be comforted. Because I have